and welcome to the Circuit of Catalunya in Barcelona, the fourth race weekend of the 2020 TCR Europe season, and a slightly drier Circuit of Catalunya than we'd expecting. Weather forecast not looking good for today, I have to say, and we were looking at it yesterday. This morning was talking about thunderstorms, heavy rain, and something like a 90% chance of rain. Well, happily the forecasters have got it wrong, although we do have very grey skies, and so the possibility of this afternoon's first race of the weekend still not guaranteed to be dry, but then again, as we've just seen, not guaranteed to be wet either. Hello everyone, welcome to this fourth race weekend of TCR Europe. It's Mark James in the commentary box, and I have to say, before anybody else says it, that this is a bonus this weekend, live coverage of qualifying. For various reasons, we don't normally do qualifying, but thanks to our friends at SRO and the GT World Challenge Europe, we have live stream of this two-stage qualifying session at Barcelona. And if you're new to TCR Europe, or indeed you've not been with us for a while, let me just remind you of the procedure. 35-minute session or thereabouts, 20-minute Q1. All 22 cars entered for this race weekend in Spain will take part in Q1. At the end of the 20 minutes, top 12 will go through to Q2, a 5-minute break between the two sessions, and at the end of that frantic 10-minute Q2, top 10, whoever's on pole will be on pole for race 1, whoever's 10th will be on pole for race 2, and the two losers, as we've said in the past, P11 and P12, will start from those positions in both races. So it's a gamble. If you're trying to qualify 10th to get pole for race 2, it could so easily go wrong. Lots of drivers need to do well here this weekend, have to do well, and we're looking at Pepe Oriola, one of them. Won race 2 last time out a fortnight ago in Monza, and he was alongside me in the commentary box when we were here in Barcelona last year. Also, the two BRC Hyundais really do need wins now. Mato Homola in the number 70 Hyundai i30N, and in the background, briefly you saw, the number 99 sister car of Danny Nagy from Hungary. Both podium finishers, but wins have eluded them so far this season. 6 races done, 6 races to go, so we are at the halfway stage in the championship so far, and 3 different pole winners and 6 different race winners so far in this compacted format. We started at Le Castellet in France only 7 weeks ago, difficult to think. And then 4 weeks ago, we were in Zolder in Belgium. 2 weeks ago, it was Monza. And then after this race weekend in Barcelona, we head for Homola taking to the runoff area there. So in 2 weeks' time, we're at Spa, back in Belgium. And the final round, 4 weeks' time, back in Spain at Jarama on the outskirts of Madrid. But let's concentrate on this Q1 session in Barcelona. As I mentioned, 22 cars entered for the weekend. If you have an entry list with 23 names on it, the name missing is Victor Davidovski, who I'm sure is watching from Macedonia. Once again, COVID restrictions means that the PSS team and Victor are unable to travel, and so I suspect it's likely that Victor will also miss the Spa weekend in a fortnight's time. However, joining the series in a 4th target competition Hyundai from Argentina, Jose Manuel Sapag, known as Manu, has appeared in TCR Europe once before at Monza, but was planning to do the full season this year, and will join us, I think, for the 3 remaining race weekends. Teddy Claret in the Peugeot. A couple of birthdays to mark this weekend. Teddy was 27 yesterday, so happy birthday to him. And also René Verbist from the Come To You team, the technical director of the team here, running the 3 Audi RS3 LMS cars of Mehdi Benani, Sami Tofik, and the boss's son, Nicolas Bart. So happy birthday, René. It's his birthday today, but fair to say there are 2 of the cars, as I mentioned. Fair to say that René's a few years older than 27. But anyway, happy birthday to him. And the Audis, certainly on yesterday's performance in 2 free practice sessions, the cars to have Sami Taufik, the young Moroccan, just 18 years of age, quickest in both FP1 and FP2. FP1 is one of those sessions that really anything could be going on, everybody on used tyres, and not really representative. FP2, not so much, because everybody ran at least some new tyres, particularly bearing in mind that today was meant to be soaking wet. And so something like half a second quicker than anyone else, Sami Taufik. There he is with his mentor Mehdi Benani behind him, and Nicolas Bartz. Now what's Matto Homola done that our camera crews have caught? Ooh, taking the curb big time. Right, let's start looking at times then. Taufik quickest so far with a best lap of 1:54.782. There is Nicolas Bartz, winner in Zolder at his home event, and obviously we go back to Belgium in a fortnight's time. The Come To You team really could do with Nicolas being very light as we head back to Belgium. Danny Nage, I mentioned a moment or so ago, 1:54.818 currently. Jessica Beckman, now she was P3 and P2 yesterday in the two free practice sessions. 1:54.991. Her brother, Andreas, won here last year. So we know the Hyundais do quite like it here. And in fact, of the 4 races that TCR Europe has had at Barcelona over the last couple of years, 3 of the 4 race winners are here this weekend. Mike Halder, who I'm sure we'll see very shortly, not having set a competitive lap time as yet, but Mike Halder won here race 2 years ago. And then last year's race winners, Andreas Beckman qualified on pole, took a lights to flag victory in race 1, and Dan Lloyd in the Brutal Fish Honda won race 2. Dan currently leading the Drivers' Championship, but very heavy here, 60 kilos of compensation weight, and so a bit philosophical yesterday, it's fair to say. So Taufik then still quickest. From Danny Nage, Jessica Beckman, Mehdi Benani, John Filippi in the second of the target competition cars. Then Teddy Claret, Matto Homola we saw a moment ago. Then Andreas Beckman. Then Dan Lloyd, Evgeny Leonov in the Soul Cupra. Then Pepe Oriola, and then Julien Brichet, winner of race 1 in Monza. Those are the top 12. Not even halfway through this session yet. Outside the top 12, Martin Rieber, Manu Sapag, Jimmy Claret, Stéphane Montage, Florian Brichet returning to the series after skipping the previous round, Jean-Laurent Navarro, Gilles Colombani, both the Halders, Mike and Michel, both race winners so far this year, not having set competitive times. Gilles Colombani just popping in a 1:57.779, so nearly 3 seconds off the pace. There is Mike Halder, though, in the predominantly black front-end Profi Car Team Halder car, and there is Michelle in the yellow-nosed car just behind her brother. So Mike winning race 2, at Le Castellet, and then Michelle winning race 2 in Zolder. Pepe Oriola keeping out the way as Mike is on a quick lap. Already a decent sector 1 time from Mike. So we know the Hondas in theory. One guy says, Mike, I want a quick lap here. We know that the Hondas should be quick here from Dan Lloyd's performance last year, and Attila Tashi, who's the one driver from the previous 2 years, the one race winner from the previous 2 years, who's not here, having moved up to WTCR, and they're at the Slovakia ring this weekend. But we've already seen that the Audis are quick. Sami Taufik still topping the timesheet at the moment, 1:54.782. Danny Nage still P2, Jessica Beckman P3, Then it's Mehdi Benani. Nicolas Bart has popped up into P6 currently with a 1:55.029, so about a quarter of a second slower than his teammate. So all three of the Audis in the top 7 currently. Mike Halder, though, goes P3. That'll do nicely. Michel Halder currently P11, so in the top 12 that'll make the cut, just ahead of Dan Lloyd. And at the moment, Pepe Oriola, Julien Brichet, Martin Rieber, Jimmy Claret, Vontaja, both the Brichets, in fact, Florian Navarro and Colombani are outside the top 12. Looking at the sector times currently, nothing's jumping out at me. Mike Halder with a 1:54.870 on his 4th lap. And Michel Halder currently P11 on a 1:55.480, so just under 7/10 slower than our quickest driver so far, having just done 2 laps. Sami Tufik out, popped in that time and then back in. Julien Brichet having been in for tyres. And that's Florian just behind him in the 2 JSB Competition Peugeot 308s. Back down to 5 car brands here in Barcelona after we briefly went up to 6 in Monza with the debut of the Fiat Tipo. And I was hoping that we'd see that again before the end of the year. Not so sure that they got whatever data they needed from Monza. So we have 3 Audis, the solitary Cupra of Leonov, who competes, remember, in the Spanish Endurance Championship with that car, so pretty much at home here in Barcelona. 5 Hondas, 6 Hyundai, 7 Peugeots, 3 run by JSB and 4 from Team Claret. That currently is the man who's at the top of the timesheets. Sami Tofik still 1:54.782 as Matto Homola goes P5 with a 1:54.878. Dan Lloyd's improved to P10. Teddy Claret is 11th. Andreas Beckmann is 12th. Michel Halder, though, has dropped out of the top 12, together with Leonov, Jimmy Claret, Julien Brichet, Martin Rieber, Manu Sapag, Vontaja, Florian Brichet, Navarro and Colombani. A fraction over 1 second, in fact, covering the top 16. Julien Brichet in the number 24 Peugeot, 1:55.881. Green in sector 1. Nothing in sector 2. He comes around, though, just to my right of the commentary box to cross the finish line. And what has he done? He has P14, not enough. Now there is Sapag, the young Argentinian driver, 25 years of age, having done pretty much all of his racing in Argentina and drives in the TC 2000, hugely successful. And Leonov has gone quickest in the Cupra, 1:54.683, 800ths quicker than Benani. Tofik dropping to P3. So with a little over 5 minutes of this session remaining, the time's now starting to tumble. Let's run through the top 12 for you then, that currently will go through to Q2. Leonov P1, Benani, Tofik, John Filippi, Danny Nage, Mike Halder, Matto Homola, Jessica Beckman, Pepe Oriola's popped up into the top 9. Nicolas Bart is P10, Dan Lloyd P11, Teddy Claret is P12. Andreas Beckman, winner here last year, is currently 13th and outside those positions, although he's gone green in both sectors 1 and 2. So potentially Andreas Beckmann, indeed he does, P5 for Andreas Beckmann. Jessica Beckmann goes P1. So Jess, who yesterday was in the top 3 times in both free practice sessions, Jess Beckmann with a 154.419, 26 hundredths of a second quicker than Leonov. So it is Jessica Beckmann in the target competition Hyundai quickest so far. Sapag currently P19, so not setting the world alight. Leonov's had his time deleted. So currently P3. Nicolas Bart goes P2 with a 154.490. 7 hundredths slower than Jessica Beckmann. Dan Lloyd must be slightly concerned. Currently P12. He's the man who stands to lose the most if he drops any further down the order. Scanning the timesheets, no green, no purple currently in any of the sectors. Currently Benani, Taufik, John Filippi, Danny Naj, Pape Oriola are in the pits. Sapag goes up to P16, but it's not going to be enough. Martin Rieber improves to P14. But there is Jess Beckmann. In fact, no, that would be 19. That would be Andreas. Sorry, the caption on your screen was wrong. There is Jess Beckmann underneath me now, just going into the pit lane. And Michelle Halder, the other lady driver in this year's TCR Europe, now on a charge. She's currently P15, green in sector 1. Not a great sector 2 time from the German lady though. And the clock steadily ticking down. Oh, that's where she lost the time. So that will have cost Michelle Halder. She should get at least one more lap in. Michelle Halder goes P15, or stays P15, 155.480, her best time. And Teddy Claret, I mentioned a moment ago that Dan Lloyd was looking shaky in P12. Teddy Claret's just gone P12. Dan Lloyd, series leader, P13. What can he do? Currently on track and has a minute and a half, just under, to get back into the top 12 to go through to Q2. Jessica Beckmann, though, in the pits currently. Quickest so far in this Q1, ahead of Nicolas Bart, Evgeny Leonov, Benani, Taufik, John Filippi, Andreas Beckmann, Danny Naj, Mike Halder, Mato Homola, Pape Oriola, and Teddy Claret. That's your top 12, with Dan Lloyd, Martin Rieber, Michelle Halder, Manu Sapag. There is Dan Lloyd. Under a minute left of this first session, and Dan Lloyd, a reasonable first sector from him, but it's not green. So 400 slower than his best sector 1 time. What can he do? He did say, talking to him yesterday, that he feels that carrying 60 kilos here in Barcelona is a huge disadvantage, but was fairly comfortable. Snow still slow, 6/10 off the pace in sector 2. And he's got 11 seconds, just counting down. I don't think he's going to be across the line in the remaining 5 seconds to get another lap in. So, Dan Lloyd, can he improve from P13 currently So the checkered flag comes out. He comes around the final corner. Let me look at the timing screen. No, indeed, 13th he stays. So Dan Lloyd, first of the big names to suffer here in Barcelona, won't be going through to Q2. Annette Couvari is down in the pit lane. Hopefully she can grab a quick word with Dan in between the two qualifying sessions. So Martin Rieber, P14. Michel Halder still out on track. There is Mike, who is currently P9 but has taken the checkered flag. As has Michel, as has Jimmy Claret, as has Sapag, Vontaja and Colombani. Mato Homola 2, P3 for him. Just pipping Leonov to P3, but at the end of the day it's Q1, so just going through to Q2 is all that matters. Julien Brichet is currently P19. This is his last throw of the dice. He's green in both sectors 1 and 2. So picks his way carefully through these final few corners, through the chicane at turns 14 and 15, around the final right-hander at turn 16. He runs up for the line. What can he do? Brichet misses out as well. Julien Brichet, P14 for him, squeezes in between the two Brutal Fish Hondas of Lloyd and Rieber, but disappointment too for Julien Brichet, who really needed another win, or at the very least a podium, to start building those points. Had a disappointing start to the year, did the Frenchman, at his home event. It didn't get much better. In fact, it went backwards at Zolder. Big collision with Andreas Beckmann at the start of the second race, putting Julien out. So, top 12 at the moment going through. Jessica Beckmann, Nicolas Bart, Daniel Nage, Mato Homola, Evgeny Leonov, Benani Taufik, John Filippi, Andreas Beckmann, Mike Halder, Pepe Oriola, and Teddy Claret. And there, as I was saying, Dan Lloyd, Julien Brichet, among the big names, not going through to Q2 here in Barcelona. Behind Brichet, Rieber, Michel Halder, Jimmy Claret, Manu Sapag, Stéphane Vontaja, Florian Brichet, Gilles Colombani, and Jean-Laurent Navarro in another of the Peugeots, bringing up the rear. Just over 9/10 of a second separating the top 16. It's that close. And just over 1600ths separating Dan Lloyd from a place in the top 12. So all 22 cars then through Q1. Disappointment for Dan Lloyd and for Julien Brichet. We're now into this 5-minute period between the two sessions. And indeed, there is Annette. See if we can pop a mic under Dan's nose. And let's see what he has to say.
Daniel Lloyd, you've just missed Q2. What happened?
The 60 kilos to carry around here is very tough. There's other cars with 60 kilos on, but it doesn't seem to be affecting them. I think at the minute we have a little bit of a weaker BOP, and then with the 60 kilos it really affects us. Obviously we expect to be affected somehow, but when other cars are so high up on the timing screens with 60 kilos, then it really shows the difference. So yeah, disappointing, but I was happy with the car, happy with my lap. I just don't think we have the quickest BOP at the moment, so all good.
There is still a little chance for a rainy race today. Are you waiting for it?
Yeah, we need it. We need it because, like I say, it seems to be affecting us. We were last on the speed traps all day yesterday, 9 kilometers slower than the Audi with waiting, 9 kilometers. So we need some wet weather, I think, to be competitive here.
What can be the best strategy for you today?
If it's rain, if it's wet, stay out of trouble. And I know we'll have good pace in the wet. In the dry, I don't know.
We will see. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Annette. Thanks, Dan. So, an honest upsum, 60 kilos, mention of BOP, but also a man that must be praying for rain. It's a little after midday, 12 here in Barcelona local time, and race 1 gets underway in a little under 4 hours time. Our coverage begins, the live stream, at 5 to 4, and race 1 due to start at 5 past 4, race 2 at lunchtime tomorrow. So disappointment for Dan Lloyd, disappointment for Julien Brichet, but that of course means it shakes it up for the championship runners. Arriving here, Lloyd led Bart by 32 points. Mehdi Benani further 16 points behind, and Mike Halder 4th in the standings, but of course all 3 of them went through to Q2. Well, but all of the leading contenders having at least one DNF to record so far. Lloyd not finishing in the second race in Monza, pulling up with a puncture. Bart, a DNF right at the beginning of the season. 2 DNFs for Benani, 2 DNFs for Mike Halder. Luck, as ever, it would seem, is playing a part. Anyway, we're into Q2, this 10-minute sprint to decide the grids for both this weekend's races. 12 cars going through. And just to recap, as I was saying right at the beginning of our live stream, that it's the top 10 as it is for race 1, and the top 10 reversed for race 2 tomorrow. So Nicolas Bart, it would appear that the Audi is the car to have, but it would also appear that your name has to be Taufik if you're going to make anything out of it. What can Sammy do? What can Jessica do? She's clearly put down a marker. She qualified on pole, remember, last year. Admittedly not at Barcelona, but she clearly has the pace. And the Beckmans very much seen by the Swedish Federation as stars of the future. It was announced this week that Andreas has picked up a sports scholarship in Sweden as a young athlete to watch. And both the Beckmans having gone through to the second stage of qualifying here in Barcelona. There, however, is Evgeny Leonov. He shares that car with the 2018 TCR Europe title winner Mikel Azcona. Azcona, when he can, is usually around to act as driver coach for Evgeny, but he's got a prior engagement in Slovakia ring this weekend. But Leonov, it would appear, needs no guidance here in Barcelona. If you're just joining us, we are into Q2 here in Barcelona. And the cars in number order having gone through: Mike Halder, Nicolas Bart, Evgeny Leonov, Andreas Beckman, Teddy Claret, Sami Taufik, Jessica Beckman, John Filippi, Matteo Homola, Pepe Oriola, Danny Nage and Mehdi Benani. So all 3 of the come-to-you Audi RS3 LMS cars have gone through. Both of the BRC Hyundais have gone through. And 3 of the 4 target competition Hyundais have gone through, with Sapag, Jose Manuel Sapag from Argentina, missing the cut on his first appearance in the 2020 series. Only the 1 Peugeot having gone through, that of Teddy Claret, and the sole Cupra. This is the man we've been watching, Evgeny Leonov. Purple sectors so far for him in sectors 1 and 2. He comes up to the finish line to record the first flying lap time of a 1:57.290. So not lightning quick, but that's the marker that everybody else is chasing so far. And immediately Andreas Beckman goes 2 seconds quicker. Jessica goes quicker than her brother, 1:55.025 for Jess, 1:55.041 for Andreas, and Matteo Homola goes quicker still, 1:54.292. So the time's tumbling currently. Here comes Benani. Benani goes P3, quickly to P4 because Oriola goes quicker. So Homola, a 1:54.292. Mike Halder, 1:54.316. So Hyundai from Honda, another Hyundai, that of Danny Nage in P3, 1:54.420. Then it's Pepe Oriola, then Benani, then Jessica, then Andreas, then Leonov. Taufik goes P6 with a 1:54.522. Still waiting for Bart and Filippi to set their first competitive lap times. So a good start to this session then from Matto Homola and Mike Halder. 24 thousandths are all that separate the Hyundai from the Honda. Now there is Andreas. Already green in Sector 1. Teddy Claret also green in Sector 1, as is Leonov, so improving all the time. And the only driver not having set a lap time as yet is John Filippi. Filippi, remember, on pole at the opening round in Le Castellet. As here comes Andreas. So Andreas Beckman into the pits then as we look at Sami Taufik, currently P6. Green in Sector 1. Jessica's also in. As one of the BRC cars goes past underneath me up the start-finish straight. Matto Homola, though, with a 1:54.292, quickest so far here in Barcelona. There is Filippi. Green in Sector 1. Using all of the circuit and then some. No warnings for track limits so far on my timing screen in this session. The race director saying yesterday there are a couple of spots on the circuit where they'll be watching, particularly turns 1 and 2. The right-left downhill off the start-finish straight. John Filippi also green in Sector 2. Can he repeat that pole position that he grabbed at the very beginning of the season? Through the chicane, around turn 16. Here he comes. And Filippi goes P8. So, with only 2 minutes of this session remaining, I did tell you that it was going to be a sprint to grab pole position. Currently, Matto Homola on pole for race 1. And it's Andreas Beckman, currently P10, who will be on provisional pole for race 2. But currently, 4 drivers are in the pits. Oriola, Benani, Taufik and Bart. So all 3 of the Come2U cars are in. And that would appear to be the end of the session for them, with only a minute and a half of this Q2 session remaining. So there's the position on the left-hand side of your screen. Matto Homola currently on pole from Mike Halder. Danny Nage, P3. Then it's Oriola, Benani, Taufik, Bart, Filippi, P8. And as things currently stand, an all-Beckman front row for race 2 tomorrow. Jessica, P9. Andreas, P10. And then Claret and Leonov, there he is. Nearly half a second off his best lap time in Sector 1. For the Cupra driver. And I should also mention that it's good to see Andreas back behind the wheel. That big shunt that he had in Zolder, damaging or spraining, I suspect, his left wrist. He had it strapped up in Monza a fortnight ago and decided not to take part in proceedings because it was just too painful. But not only is he back, but he's made it through to Q2, and currently, with less than 30 seconds of this session remaining, Andreas Beckman will start race 2 tomorrow from pole position. 6 drivers in the pits now, and so still circulating. Sami Taufik, John Filippi, both of the Beckmans, Teddy Claret and Leonov. But indeed, Leonov heads in as the checkered flag will come out at the end of this Q2. And the only driver with any sign of an improvement. I was going to say Taufik, who was green in Sector 1. There he is. So Taufik, middle of the pack for both races as things currently stand. In fact, all three of the Audis that come to UCARS, P5, P6, P7 for Benani, Taufik and Bart. But unless things change, it will be a Hyundai on pole for both races. Matto Homola, race 1, and Andreas Beckmann, P2. But Felipe Beckmann, and in fact both the Beckmans have gone green in Sector 1. And so are we going to see things change at the bottom end of the top 10 right at the end of this qualifying session in Barcelona? There is John Felipe in the green highlights on the front of his Hyundai. And Jessica Beckmann in the 26 car with the blue highlights, as Andreas has gone green in Sector 2. So here comes Jess down towards turn 16. And Andreas doesn't improve, so P10 for him. Missing out will be Claret and Leonov, but BRC look happy enough with that. Matto Homola in the BRC Hyundai i30N will start race 1 later today from pole. Alongside him on the grid will be Mike Halder in the Profi Team Halder Honda Civic. Danny Nage makes it 2 BRC Hyundais in the top 3 on the grid. Pepe Oriola will start from P4. Mehdi Benani P5. Taufik P6. Nicolas Bart P7. John Felipe P8. Jessica Beckmann P9 and Andreas P10. Let's get confirmation of that as Annette lines up Matto Homola for a chat at the end of this qualifying session in Barcelona. So Hyundai will be happy with that, I would have thought. i30's on pole position for both races. And everybody is now either in the pits or has taken the checkered flag. So that is the final result from qualifying here in Barcelona. Matto Homola is on pole for race 1. Mike Halder, Danny Nage, Pepe Oriola, Mehdi Benani, Sami Taufik, Nicolas Bart, John Felipe, Jessica and Andreas Beckmann. That's your top 10. And missing out, so starting from P11 and P12 in both races, will be Teddy Claret and Evgeny Leonov, respectively. Okay, let's head down to the pit lane then, and let's talk to the man who will be on pole position this afternoon. Matto Homola is talking to Annette.
Matto Homola, congratulations for the pole position. How do you feel now?
Perfect. I must say perfect, because yesterday it was not so easy. We were struggling a lot with the car, with the setup and my driving, so we improved a lot. And yeah, but basically I improved my my driving style, because compared to the test what we done here before the season, the track is completely different. And yeah, I must say that this lap was one of the best in my career, because almost every corner was perfect. So yeah, I must say I'm really happy. But yeah, it's just qualifying, so the biggest portion of the points are getting in the races. So yeah, still focused.
Are you preparing for a dry race or for a wet one?
Well, we will see. I don't know. Honestly, I don't care. So as you could see, we are quite fast on the dry, but yeah, I will take every dry or wet. So I don't care, honestly.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
There's a difference. I don't care whether it's wet or dry, says Matto. Dan Lloyd earlier saying, no, I really want it to be wet, please. Points, of course, from first down to 10th from qualifying. And so 10 points for Matto Homola, no points for Dan Lloyd. Mike Halder takes 9. That's going to help him, as we just watch some of the highlights from this qualifying session at Barcelona. So I hope you've enjoyed this rare glimpse at the live stream of qualifying from Barcelona, and fingers crossed you'll be with us for both of this weekend's races. Race 2 tomorrow at around lunchtime, but race 1 this afternoon. Our live coverage begins at 5 to 4 Central European time. See you then.